All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the Cinema Lords podcast. We have a good one for you guys tonight. We're going to be doing a House of the Dragon preview since it's only a few days away. I'm very excited to be returning to Westeros. Before we start diving into everything that we're going to be talking about, though, first, for those of you guys watching on YouTube, you'll see that we got two people in the studio tonight that haven't been here in a while. We haven't seen either one of you boys. We got Los, we got Luke. Luke, our aficionado of all things Westeros.
Yes, sir. I have to come back for this.
That's why this is exactly the time for you. This is going to be we're going to be picking things up, too. We're going to be doing weekly episodes, recap everything from House of the Dragon, so there's going to be more of those episodes. We're going to be doing Rings of Power once that comes in August.
Nice.
Going to be doing some Bear stuff, going to be doing some Cobra Kai stuff, so podcasting is going to be getting picked up. So you're going to be seeing more of these guys in the future, especially this summer.
Can't wait.
Yeah. How are you boys doing? It's been a while.
Doing great, yeah. Getting super pumped up for the new show here. I kind of left it alone while it was in a creation for season 2, but just rewatched it this last week and touched up again on the book notes, and so really excited to see what comes up next. I think they're going to do some good things.
Hell yeah. Los, what about you, buddy? It's been a while. Haven't seen you in a bit.
Glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. You've been watching a lot of random shit lately.
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
Raymond.
Oh, God. I fucking love every one of those. Hey, don't knock Young Sheldon either.
I'm knocking. I just simply, it was just a statement of things that
No, actually, you know what it was? That show, I liked it when he was real young and he was fucking witty and little fucking smart ass, but now he's getting older and he's I'm season 5 and now he's becoming a teenager and now I just want to kind of punch him in the head. So
that just ended, right?
Yeah, the show just ended, yeah.
But was there anything else? I feel like there was something else.
When I saw it on Twitter, it was a joke, but they were saying Young Sheldon died. There was
Yeah, I did see it. Wait, honestly? That wasn't real.
No.
Well, it's like a prequel to Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it didn't make any sense. But it had me for a second. I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That show's in the same world as Big Bang.
Yeah, the super weird tall guy is Sheldon.
Okay. I can't really speak on it because I haven't seen any Big Bang Theory really either.
Me neither, really. But
I know the show.
I know that's him.
When we touched on Everyone Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah,
Absolute classic. 10 out of 10. If you just have some time to kill, throw on an episode before you know it, you'll be on season 4 like me right now. So
Top notch sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we're going to be the House of the Dragon preview show tonight. We're going to be kind of going through the trailers. We're going to be kind of recapping the end of last season and then any expectations we have for this upcoming season. Before we dive into that, though, as always, I'd like to say thank you to Kirk Minahan and the KMS Network for allowing us to put the podcast out there for the other Minifans to see. I hope anybody that checks it out and gives us a shot enjoys the show, especially if you're a House of the Dragon fan, if you're a Thrones fan, keep tuning in because, like I said, weekly episodes are going to be coming. But as always, thank you, Kirk. Appreciate the opportunity. So, like I said, we're going to be starting off with the end of Season 1. Which, I mean, the ending of Season 1 I thought was a complete banger. The whole season was a lot of setting pieces up on a chessboard, getting you introduced to everybody you need to know. And then Season 2 was like, alright, here we go. The end of Season 1 was like, alright, here we go. Dance of the Dragons is coming. We're ready to fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave us some good payoffs at the end there.
They did.
But also teed up just some absolute mayhem. Ending with the look of Rhaenyra staring off in the distance,
Great.
finding out about her son getting killed, and
They
just
hollow out the sound too, which was cool. It's dead silent.
yeah, and then just the dragon fight before that, epic, definitely the most expensive scene they did all year.
Exciting scene too. Just
Yeah.
the chase itself is awesome. You love to see how at that one part, Westeros went full pod racing there, or he's dragons going through the fucking cliffs and shit 'cause it's small and fucking
Using that speed.
Reminded me a big time the pod racing scene from Phantom Menace.
Yep. And another really cool part about that whole scene there is that that's one that didn't have a lot of detail in the book. In the book, it just said Aemond attacked and killed Lucerys.
That's it?
Yeah. So for them to portray it as sort of he didn't mean to do it. The dragon kind of took over and it didn't go as he planned, but he decided to just own it rather than looking weak or that he did something accidentally. So.
That's one of my big
cool
questions, actually, going into Season 2, which is, I'm assuming, going to be dressed right out of the gate, is how is he going to handle that? Is he going to just be like, yeah, no, it wasn't me, I wasn't even in the area, I already flew off? Was he going to say it's an accident? Is he going to say that it was intentional? I feel like there's so many different paths he can take. He hasn't backed down from anything since he got his dragon and went all one eye patch and badass.
Yeah, so cool.
I wonder how he's going to play it right away. Like I said, that's one of the big things. I know you said that you just got done rewatching it. Have you rewatched it yet or no?
First season 1?
Yeah.
No.
You saw it when it was live?
Yeah. I'm catching up right now. If there's any of you watching this or listening to this and you're trying to play catch up, I'm doing the same thing. So
Yeah, representing the regular viewer.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I'm trying to refresh myself what happened a couple of years ago.
So the first time it was on, like we talked about it a lot. All three of us talked about it a lot. Like I liked it. I didn't love it, but then I've done it rewatch twice, and I thoroughly like this show. The more and more I watch it,
Yeah.
I have more appreciation for certain things. The biggest thing is King Viserys. The first season, I was like, this guy stinks. I was like, just die already.
I agree.
Now, in the 2 rewatches, I love him. He's fucking... I just feel so bad for him. The guy just wants to be with his family and have everybody be together and continue peace. And the poor guy's family will just not fucking have it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely got a better take on him the second time through. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still thought he was fine in the first, but like everybody was showering him with praise, saying he was the best actor in the show and everything. And I wasn't totally on board, but I do see it now more on my second time through.
Yeah, I think you'll hopefully see this as well, and maybe you did, but when you weren't going week to week with these huge time gaps and stuff, and you can binge it, you can watch 2 or 3 episodes in a row. I feel like it enhances the show because I feel like I usually like week to week, especially for Thrones. But because of the time jumps, it felt almost like every episode was like almost like a new episode, like a new pilot. Like things weren't exactly like building up. But when you watch it in a binge, it feels like things escalate faster just because you're able to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I like it more and more I watch it.
I agree with that too. Yeah, totally felt that this time around. Just not having to like reorient yourself every time, like you're like, it takes you just 1 second to be like, oh, that's this person.
Exactly.
And they always drop some sort of weird like time passing element, like someone's hair growing or a new person being pregnant or something like that.
Kids.
Right.
Like,
yeah, just showing the most
kids
obvious kid being 5 years older or something. Yeah.
Very strange. I feel like the biggest one for like that was Rhaenyra and Daemon's kids.
Yeah.
Like they show the marriage ceremony and they show them fucking on the beach, and all of a sudden it's just like, hey, we got 2 kids. She's pregnant with a third.
Right.
Which the pregnant scenes watching it back too. There's so much fucking pregnant yelling and stillbirths. And, oh my god, man, it's brutal.
Yep.
It was a brutal show.
Yep.
I'm sure I feel like those things you have to remember. That shit's burned into your fucking memory when you see it, man.
Yeah, it kind of blocked it out a little bit.
I feel like I remember you complaining about it when it happened.
Thank you for bringing back right before. Thank you for bringing that back to me right before dinner.
It was intense.
But speaking of King Viserys, that's another big thing that we kind of left off with. So King Viserys finally dies after episode after episode after episode, just dwindling more and more and more away. He finally dies, and because Alicent's an idiot, that conversation still boggles my mind. How she could think that he wanted his son to be on the throne is just, you're projecting.
Yeah.
Big time projecting. But either way, they basically stole the throne overnight. They named Aegon king without any message to anybody. They just did it in front of the people. And then we have one of the scenes that I hate, which wasn't a part of the book. You read the book, I have not.
Right.
But I know that this was a creator from the show, like the showrunners created this scene.
Yep.
And what a dumb fucking scene.
The beast beneath the boards thing.
Yeah. Yes. She comes blasting through on a dragon, has the opportunity to end the show, end the book, end the story before anything even starts.
Yeah.
She could save who knows how many, like thousands, like hundreds of thousands of lives. And instead she just growls, and then she's like, alright, I'm going to fly out this door, even though the door's nearly not big enough for my dragon, and it's lousy CGI in this one part if you really watch it.
Right, when it tucks through the doorway there.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it just like shrinks down to like quarter size.
She's got a big ass dragon. Her dragon's huge.
It's like the second biggest one, yeah.
Yeah, and it flies through fucking just like a set of... they're big double doors, obviously, but they ain't that fucking big.
Yeah, right. She bursts through the floor, kills thousands of people.
True, kills who knows how many civilians.
Just to burst through the floor and have her dragon scream at everybody.
Fucking crazy.
Like it made a statement. And she obviously was taking the blacks in that moment, but yeah, she didn't actually do anything impactful besides mass murdering a bunch of commoners.
There has to be a better way to create a scene of like action for like the final episodes than that. You know what I mean? Like that, if they're gonna create like I said, the showrunners created that scene. You would imagine it's because they want some kind of big pop in the last episode.
Right.
There has to be maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a fucking writer, but I feel like there has to be a better way to do it than that. That was just, it made no sense to me.
Right. It seemed like they were just trying to give Rhaenys some extra character parts or something. I don't know.
I actually like her character. I like the Princess Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Which she's going to be the one that flies over to fucking Rhaenyra. She tells him that they stole the throne, basically. Right.
And Daemon also said, like, you could have ended this.
Yes.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
And
what did she say?
She said,
"My war to stars."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Christ.
You get that a little bit. Like, would that seem like it was her trying to take the throne or something? But yeah, I'm with you. She could have ended everything there. Killed. She had all the people that they're about to be at war with right there.
It was too easy. It was like literally the whole entire family, all of them. That Christian Cole cunt, Allison, her dad, the kids, everybody. Yeah. One poof.
It is a bunch of her like nieces and nephews and shit too.
That's true.
But still.
That is true. It's a good call. You know who could escape? I'm okay with Helena, right?
Yeah, Helena.
Helena. Yeah, she can escape.
Yeah, she's cool.
She seems like a flower child to me. She would have been a Woodstock. Sure.
Yeah.
But like we said, Rhaenys goes. She's the one that warns him, and then Prince Daemon is excited because this is what he's been waiting for his like entire life. He's just been waiting for the battle that his ancestors fought. He can finally go out there. He tried to do it with the fucking crab feeder and shit, which I guess he did a little bit, but this is finally like his fucking war. This is his moment. So he's super excited. Rhaenyra smart, wants to get her allies in order. Sends the sons out. Sends both the sons out.
Right.
Send messages to like Winterfell, which we're gonna
try to start making alliances. Yeah.
You saw that in the trailer.
Yep. And a Stark.
Cregan Stark. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Who's he's the great grandfather of Ned. The four times great. Yeah. Okay. So 6 generations or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool. And he'll be like 20 to 25 years old too. So just like slightly older than Jace. And there's a scene in the trailer where it's the two of them standing on top of the wall.
Yeah.
I got some thoughts on that for later too when we get to the trailers.
Okay. Which we're pretty much almost there. Right now, I just sent out the 2 boys, our 2 oldest sons, to, like I said, send the messages. Unfortunately, the younger of the 2, he goes to the Stormlands. Aemon's already there. Aemon One Eye, which that's a very cool scene. He pulls the eye patch off, and the fucking thing's like
glowing like sapphire. Yeah.
Looks like there's like stars in it almost too, like glittery shit.
I think it's in the books. It's supposed to be like a sapphire eye.
Okay,
so
that's pretty cool.
Like a full on like gemstone.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Bougie.
Yeah.
I like it though. It looked fucking cool. And also like he like takes his dagger out, like, slides it across the floor, and he's like, take out an eye. Like you can choose the one. Like I'll be nice about it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But that was a good scene. And then it kind of ends with where season ends, which is, like I said, setting up for the Dance of Dragons. Luke goes to head back home to Mama, and there's a cool little dragon
air battle.
Air battle, I guess, with his very, very, very small dragon.
Yeah, I was trying to compare how big that dragon is to like
Vhagar. Like in comparison.
Well, I was thinking more compared to like Drogon from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Felt like it was maybe like half the size of like.
I'd say even
season
less
7
than that,
Drogon. Yeah.
I'd say even less than that.
You think it's still smaller than Drogon, like at the fighting pits in Marine? Remember that scene where he
when he comes back, like when he'd been away for a while, and he fucking shows up.
Maybe a little bit smaller than that.
Probably. I would say that's probably twice the size.
Okay.
Because then he gets a little bit bigger before the last season.
Okay.
Drogon's fucking big. I feel like he's not like fucking Vhagar big, but I feel like he's fucking big. What's Rhaenyra's dragon's name again?
Syrax, the like golden one.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a gangsta name.
Yeah, super cool. And that's like all golden. And
that one is pretty.
And it's the one that keeps pumping out eggs too.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, that makes sense. Since she's popping out fucking eggs.
Right.
So, that adds up.
Fertile.
Still, that Daemon's dragon is the coolest dragon that we've seen in Thrones or House of the Dragon. Fucking the long ass fucking neck.
Yeah.
What is it? The red worm, right?
Yeah. Or the bloodworm.
Fucking the bloodworm. That thing is sick.
Yep. Caraxes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see more of him.
Super cool. Yeah. He'll be in action.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'd imagine everyone. But like I said, Aemon's gonna fucking. There's a little dragon trace, and then. But it seems like it's by accident. It doesn't seem intentional. But basically, he loses control of his dragon, which that's the thing that's been talked about a lot in the first season. Is how there's this like thought that basically the Targaryens have full control of their dragons, when in reality they don't. These things fucking do what they want to do. They might listen some of the time, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do.
Yep.
And Vhagar fucking straight up eats fucking Luke and his dragon. and then you see Rhaenyra get the word of it, and that's how the season ends. But there's no time to wait for allies and shit now. It's go time. There's nothing. What are you gonna do? You gotta go.
Yeah. And so, the showrunner said it's going to pick up exactly where it left off.
Okay.
So, seems like some payback in some form. We'll see how they do it. But they're gonna respond for sure. And then also just, all the diplomacy missions, flying to all these different really cool castles and meeting these highborn people and, trying to get some alliances.
Stormlands in that fucking one scene that we saw in all of Game of Thrones, like 7 seasons.
Yeah, I feel like we only saw like Renly and Stannis both outside of there once, but that was it.
They did this in the storm too, which is cool since it's the Stormlands, the lightning, the thunder, fucking crazy rain.
Yeah, very cool. And one other thing from like that last shot, they have the painted table there in Dragonstone.
Oh, that
and
was very cool.
They like illuminate it at the end, which is like the most obvious imagery ever for just like the world is gonna burn.
Yeah,
like,
it's also just very cool.
All gonna get lit up.
We saw the table so many times in Game of Thrones, like with various people using it, and still there were like secrets about it that none of them knew.
Right.
Like obviously you'd imagine one of them would have done that because it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. Right. If they knew that was a feature.
Right. I just don't think that they fucking knew. I don't think they knew.
Yep. Because that was that table was made by the first Aegon when he came in conquered.
Which is such
Westeros.
a fucking cool table.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, if I had like a good amount of money and I didn't give a shit, I would like buy one of those and use it as like my dining room table.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Like, hey guys, what's going on? Coming over for dinner? All right, we left up some steaks. I'll let everybody sit down and you just fucking
pick your spot on Westeros.
Westeros-y fucking mat table. That'd be so sick.
It would be sweet. Maybe not the flattest surface to serve things on, but
yeah, you just do it like functional. You know what I mean? Like you do it so that you can still do the cartridges, but just have like clear plexiglass over the top.
I like that.
Like that.
Yeah. To a modern version.
Yeah, you could do some fucking like lights underneath too to fucking like light it up just like that. That'd be fucking cool. I'd like I said, it'd be a lot of money, I assume, but I'd fucking.
It's a good goal.
But yeah, so season 1 ends. We're ready for the Dance of Dragons. Things are ready to pop off. What did you say before we started the show? That the first. So you read the book.
Yes, just the section of the book that has this whole story in it, which the whole story from the actual book is like 800 pages.
Yeah.
But it covers from Aegon the Conqueror all the way up to like modern day. It's a history book that someone had in Game of Thrones.
I know it's like the Maester, it's like writing it, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So that's the actual story about House of the Dragons, about 225 pages. Season 1 covered about the first third, about 75 pages. Okay. There's about another 150 left in there that to the end of the Dance of Dragons.
Okay.
But to compare that to, that first 75 pages covered 29 years. The rest of the whole show is only going to be 3 years. So we're not going to get any more big time jumps or like random babies popping up or anything. It's going to be pretty sequential from now on, like Game of Thrones pacing.
See, that's why I think it's good to have you here for things like that, because I think that's a very like nice little detail to know.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's some cool stuff after the war, so maybe like 1 more year, maybe 4 years, but the Dance of Dragons lasts 3 years.
All right. So that means there's going to be like a lot of action, a lot of battling, like without much room in between.
Oh yeah, it's going to move.
All right, that's nice.
Yep.
So I guess let's get into the trailers. There was, I think, I went and showed Los today. I wanted to rewatch the Team Green versus Team Black trailers, but then it looked like they did like a volume 2 for each one, because there were 2 that I hadn't seen that I watched today.
Yeah.
But it was more of the same, like Team Green versus Team Black. Which I love what HBO did with these trailers. This is just my take on it, but I think that you would imagine the large majority of their audience is probably Team Black.
Right. Which is how the book is 100% like slanted. It's very pro blacks.
Team Black.
Yeah. It still shows like some bad decisions, and like obviously you can't make Daemon look good with all the shit he does, but
right.
But it's definitely more like the Greens are being sneaky and stealing the throne in the Fire and Blood book.
And I think that, just in general, I think Rhaenyra, I mean, I can't speak for the book, but I think Rhaenyra is a more likable character than Alicent. Yeah. And I think Daemon, even though he does some bad shit, is more likable still than either Aemond or Aegon.
Yeah, I agree. So, but they, at the same time, they have done a better job of, like, the changes they have made have given some some more support to the Greens. Like
So that's actually kind of where I was going
yeah,
with this.
yeah. Like the main one is that conversation that on Viserys' deathbed when he's like all kind of drugged up and he thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra, but he's really talking to Alicent.
Yep.
And he starts talking about the prince that was promised and how Aegon's prophecy and stuff, and she takes that to mean their son Aegon,
Which is crazy.
needs to take the throne. So she still twists it, but it's not like she thinks she's acting on his words, or at least is rationalizing it that way. In the books, it's just he dies, she enacts her plan to take over the world.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She- like,
Okay,
she had
so they
always-
actually do her a little bit of a generosity in the show.
Yeah. There was no explanation. It was just the moment he died, she rushed Aegon to the throne room and crowned him before Rhaenyra knew what happened.
I gotta be honest, I think I kind of like that better, actually. I kind of like that they would just make Alicent like a straight up bitch as opposed to almost making her own name.
Yeah, I mean, it's good either way, but that's definitely how they're trying. They're giving more reasons to have some sympathy for the Greens, at least, and they definitely made Alicent a sympathetic character too. Like, she didn't want to be with Viserys. Her dad used her as a pawn in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
and
no, that's true.
and then she really does just want what's best for her kids a lot of the time, and she does know that they will be killed, or at least threatened to be killed if because they're threats to the real crown and stuff. So I don't know. You have some sympathy for her, but
At the same time,
I'm still
though,
Team Black.
She knows by what she's doing, like, it is going to end in war. So they're directly putting your... I mean, I think you should know your kids. I think you should know that Aemon's not going to be chilling on the fucking sidelines when things go to war. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
right there, you're putting your kid's life in jeopardy, I guess.
Right.
But that would just be my spin on it. But like I was kind of saying to start, what you hinted at too, thought HBO did a great job because I said, Team Black's probably get the majority of the people watching the show. And in my opinion, the Team Green trailer was so much better than the Team Black trailer, which I think was intentional to try and sway some of the audience who say maybe like just slightly leaning one way or the other, maybe try to win them over to the Team Green side. Because I thought the Team Green trailer was significantly better than the Team Black trailer.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it was like 30 seconds longer too.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just watched all of them with me. Like, did you get the same vibe?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, 100%.
100% of 100%.
Yeah. No, I see what they're doing though. They're trying to sway some favor into the Team Green.
Yeah.
Were you swayed at all?
No. I saw what they were trying.
Yeah, so I saw through.
Were you just like what stood out to you with the trailer, Kalos? Was it like the dragons and stuff, or like what
Yeah.
is-
I mean,
what is
that's
the
what
main-
I'm here for. Really, is the dragons.
Right.
So
I'm just wondering, like the more
Yeah.
like people that didn't just watch the last episode again, like what stood out to you more?
yeah, the dragons. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a simple man. I don't
Yeah.
want much from this show. I want a few things. I want dragons. I want some fight scenes.
Yeah.
I want some sex scenes, and I want some betrayal.
There we go. I thought you were gonna throw incest in there.
Oh, no.
You don't have to include that on the list of wants because we're gonna get it. We don't need that. We don't need to ask for incest. We know we gonna get incest.
Yeah, they do that well in Westeros.
Yeah. And as I've said countless times on this podcast, it's been a while because we haven't done any Game of Thrones. If you're not down for incest when it comes to Game of Thrones, then get the fuck out. You got a huge crap in your pants and you're alone. Day to day, regular life, incest, bad. Game of Thrones, fuck yeah. Give me the incest. Give it all of it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I thought the Team Green trailer was way better. My biggest takeaway is that, from the trailers itself at least, is King Aegon. Mm-hmm. I feel like him in the first season of the show, he was such a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what age he was, like when he was like the teenage version, he was just like beating up on his younger cousins, coming outside of his window, literally onto the people of King's Landing.
Yeah.
Which, like, when Allison, like, that's the scene that's weird. Allison walks in and she couldn't be less fazed by it. So it's like, oh wow, you're doing this a lot.
He was already a sexual deviant early on. Yeah.
you're doing this a lot.
Yeah.
But then he gets a little bit older. He's such a little bitch. He like doesn't want anything to do with the throne. He's like trying to run away on a fucking ship. But now in this trailer, he's got some swag to him.
It's game on now. He knows it's die or fight.
It seems like being king might be like just changing his overall mindset.
Yeah. Yep. It seems like maybe he's liking having some power over people like his mom and like Otto now too. Like they've been just kind of like bossing him around forever.
Absolutely.
Which might go to his head a little bit. We'll see.
That's a good call.
He's also got some actual power over his brother, who is now kind of superior to
Always
him in a
been,
lot of ways. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes, and see how Allison handles that too, because she's definitely lost a lot of power, and is
I gotcha.
Yeah, dealing with now her asshole son.
And her dad's still Hand of the King, right? I imagine.
Yep. There were some hints in the trailer for some changes coming up though too.
I
I don't know if you want me to get into it or not, but there were some shots of some people wearing the golden hands and a chain.
Oh shit! No, I must have missed that. I must not have been looking good enough. What was it?
So for the Greens, it's going to be Kristen Cole is going to be the head of the Kingsguard and the King of the Hand, or Hand of the King.
He's awful.
And then
there's that one shot we saw where he's riding a fucking dragon this season.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
And he was wearing his gold chain in that shot too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for Rhaenyra, it's going to be Corlys Velaryon, who was in rough shape at the end of this season, but showed like he was coming back.
That makes
And
perfect sense.
Yeah, now he's going to be
He's the head of the naval, like all the ships, the Navy and shit like that.
Yep.
He was the one that came up with the idea that he's going to be able to close off the port and they'd be able to do a nice little fast them out kind of thing.
Yep.
Which is a great idea.
Yep.
Don't need to make violence. We can just starve these motherfuckers out.
right. And
So that makes total sense on that one.
And then it'll be interesting to see, because both sides are going to form their own small councils and Kingsguard / Queensguard too. So it'll be fun seeing who all gets assembled in there.
Yeah, Rhaenyra pulled I think 4 of the Kingsguard, right?
Yeah, she's got one of the twins.
One of the twins. But before the twin got there, he brought the crown. There was 2 guys.
Right.
So maybe just 3.
Yeah, maybe 3.
Maybe just 3. That Daemon had fucking... He had Caraxes there, and he was like fucking bending the knee, or... But both the guys were like, well, dude, we're here by choice, so yeah, we're gonna bend the fucking knee. Like, what do you think we're doing here?
Yeah. That was unnecessary. But
yeah, no shit. Like, what do you mean, guy?
Yeah.
What do you think we traveled?
Like, we know you have a dragon. You don't need to.
Shout out, Brand. Why do you think we traveled all this way?
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. But I think I said Aegon was my big takeaway. Christian Cole sucks. That was another big one, like I said, with the dragon thing.
Yep.
There's the one line where Aemon goes, I look forward to meeting my uncle on the battlefield. Like if he's fool enough to meet me or something.
Yeah. I mean, they're super cool, right? They're very similar people. They look alike too, which they're supposed to in the books too.
Yep, they do. And Aemon definitely
badasses.
started off as a little twat, but then once he got the dragon, Vagar, he was all right, this guy's cool now.
Yep. And in both cases, they're both second sons. Daemon's older brother is Viserys, and so that kind of always pissed him off.
Okay.
And,
a lot of similarities.
and Aemon is the second son to Aegon, which always kind of pissed him off. He thinks he's the superior ruler and knight.
These are great.
So
these are great.
they both have Valyrian steel sword. Both have some huge dragons.
Valyrian steel going on.
Yeah.
Actually, I was saying to Los, now I think about it, when we were watching the trailers before we started recording, there's one shot where King Aegon now has the cat's paw dagger.
Yeah.
And I would love to see, which I'm sure there'll eventually be one, but a great timeline, whether it's on YouTube or in a book,
100%, yeah.
where it just almost starts with Aegon the Conqueror and just ends up with Arya Stark.
Right.
That'd be so fucking cool.
Right? Because where is it at the beginning of Game of Thrones? It's
Baelish.
who got it from Tyrion. Right? He said he won it from Tyrion in a bed or something.
That's a lie. He uses that to frame Tyrion as the guy who sent the henchmen to kill Bran.
Okay.
When
He says that he
was Littlefinger.
Okay. He says he lost it to Tyrion in a bed.
Right.
Okay.
And then right away, which is a great call. Tyrion right away was wicked tight with his brother. He's like, why the fuck would I bet against my own brother? That's just stupid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Or send an assassin with my own blade.
That too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. Wicked dumb. Which in a way, almost Littlefinger would almost be smarter than that. I would imagine, but clearly not.
Right.
But he obtained it somewhere at some point, whether it was handed down to him or he did win it in a bet from somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see. King Viserys was wearing it. Now King Aegon's going to be wearing it. So this thing was still handed down from Aegon the Conqueror all the way through here. And now it's going to end up in the hands of some fucking henchman trying to kill Bran Stark.
Yeah.
Which, this is the kind of shit that could have saved the ending of Game of Thrones.
I know.
If we had seen that the three-eyed raven had planted the fucking dagger all the way back here to then have himself almost be killed by it so then he could give it to Arya. It'd be like, yo, this fucking show is awesome. The three-eyed raven's a fucking mastermind for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Instead they just had Bran Stark roll up in a wheelchair and be like, what do you think I came all this way for? Yo,
I mean,
awful.
To be fair, they could still do what you're saying. They're going to do the Dunk and Egg stuff, which
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
Blood Raven's alive during, and he's in one of the 3 stories.
Oh, shit. So that'll be intriguing. Blood
Yep.
Raven's
While he's Hand of the King, too, is during one of the stories.
He was a Targaryen, right?
He was half Targaryen and half...
Stark? Or
No. I think, I don't know. I think it's like Tully or something like that. I don't know.
Interesting. That's like the cool thing that they do in the books that they don't do in the show is like the old guy in the tree is a 3-eyed raven, and then Bran becomes a 3-eyed raven. But it makes it seem almost like it's a title, like being a king. It's just like, okay, you're the next one. But it's not. It's very much like, almost like a soul, like, say, like, basically a soul, I feel like is a good way to put it, but leaving my body when I die and go into Luke's body. So it's like, there's a lot of, like, the same. It's like one thing moving from, so there's a lot of the characteristics and the fucking...
Yep, the Wheel of Time thing. It comes back around the same way.
Right,
again.
exactly.
Yep.
So there was a way to make the ending of Game of Thrones, like, really cool, with Brandon Stark still being on the Iron Throne. They just didn't do it because they were fucking lazy and they did 6 episodes and it sucked.
Yeah,
I feel like we talked about that when it was happening. Like I said, like, if they made, like, the 3-eyed raven out to be this long con fucking, like, I guess almost villain, basically, that would have been cool.
Right.
That would have been really cool. Unfortunately, they didn't do that.
No.
They did.
Miss.
Yeah, big swing and miss.
Real quick, just like you were saying, you want to see a timeline following the dagger.
Yes.
I'm also very curious to see how the prophecy gets passed down. Like who does Rhaenyra tell about the prophecy? At what point is the prophecy lost to whoever the king is of Westeros?
I would imagine it has to be here.
But then at the same time, that prophecy is still kind of like common lore in Game of Thrones, right? Like it's everybody kind of knows, like the prince that was promised.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
but
that's a good
so whereas in House of the Dragon, it's only known by
the king
Rhaenyra and
passes it
Viserys.
down to the, yeah.
And then another question there is, I was thinking about that scene with Cregan Stark and Jacaerys at the top of the wall.
Yep.
Is there a chance maybe the Starks know the prophecy too, or through visions, through whatever, because they've had all those dreamers and green seers and stuff too.
I didn't know that. See?
I'm wondering if maybe Cregan, it's because this is all made up. This wasn't in the books at all, the whole prophecy thing. But I'm wondering if Cregan might be telling Jace there about it, or something like that.
That'd be a cool wrinkle.
Yeah.
And
then
if the North knows about the whole story, that'd be a cool wrinkle.
And then from there, you got to wonder, at what point would the Starks have lost that knowledge? And would it have maybe been Ned Stark who was the last one to know? And he kept the secret the same way he kept the Jon Snow secret, and it died with him.
Do you happen to know if at this point in the timeline, do the Stark words already, like, is it winter is coming already?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. So that's another, I was thinking about that too. It's related.
If it had changed, that would be a big sign for them knowing.
Right.
If their words were whatever, and then all of a sudden they changed, that would be a big indicator for them somehow finding out the story.
But also, Aegon got those words from a dream.
Right.
So any prophetic dreamer could see the same vision and hear those exact same words, even if it's a real prophecy.
I'm interested to see what Helena's going to do if she has more predictions and prophecies too.
Yeah, and there's a new character who's known to be the most magical at the time. That's going to be in season 2 also. This lady who like the worst rumors about her is that she bathes in blood. She's 100 years old and stuff.
That sounds like some
but she looks like she's
shit.
she's at least 40, but she looks like she's 20. And some people say she's 100, but she's and she'll be in it. She's actually a bastard of the Strongs also.
Okay.
Alice Rivers.
If roughly rough estimate, how many new characters do you think we're gonna get this season? Characters that actually matter, that play a role, that aren't just one-offs.
I made a little list of some that you'll see. So there's some new characters with some familiar names that you'll see.
Obviously, we got the Stark.
Yep. So Cregan's one.
Yep.
They also didn't show this kid at all, but Aegon and Aemond, the Greens, they have a younger brother, Daron, who has just been in Old Town, chilling with the High Towers, I guess.
Okay.
But he's 9 years old or something. He has a dragon, and he's going to be in this season.
He has a dragon.
Yep, a smaller one because he's young. It was one that was hatched with him.
Yeah. So, like, what happened with Luke and shit?
Yep.
Jace's dragon's the same thing, too, right? Jace's dragon was born with him?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so that's a 20-year-old dragon or whatever. There's also the 2 children of Daemon and Rhaenyra.
Which that's kind of what we were talking about.
Aegon and Viserys.
All of a sudden, they just had 2 kids.
Right. And so they're 9 and 7 in the book. I don't know. I don't remember if they're a little bit younger maybe in the show. But
the one time that they show them is when they're meeting Viserys, and they're young. They're like babies.
Right, they seem smaller. So maybe like minus like 5 years.
Yeah, they're young.
But there's also...
So, like, to me, that makes it seem like in the show, they probably won't play the same impact that they played in the books.
Probably.
Because they're so much younger, and like you said, there's not going to be a time jump. That means that they're still going to be basically infants.
Yeah, they're going to skip there's like one really cool part of it that they're definitely going to skip. But they're still going to be there, and they're going to be need to be protected. They'll have some version of an impact on the show. There's also 2 new Valerians, Adam and Alan Valerian. So like the black guys with white hair.
Interesting. Are they going to be tied to the son there that like fled?
They're more tied. They're going to be sort of tied to him, but more tied to Corlys. But I won't get into it too much.
He's obviously got to come back there. That son, he's got to come back.
I know. I'm wondering about that because that's not in the books. He's presumed dead in the books, and so that was another thing they added. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Some people said that Daemon like paid his boyfriend Carl with the Q to do it, and then Daemon killed Carl right after he did it or something. But there's nobody that thinks he faked his own death and escaped.
Okay.
So that they added that. We'll see what happens.
That's a good addition.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's like in this now you get this. I mean, in Game of Thrones, you almost feel like he has to come back. There's no body. I mean, people don't usually just fled off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But in the book, his dragon plays a role without him. So I don't know if he'll come back and reclaim the dragon and do those things, or what'll happen.
I don't know if you remember this, but towards the end of the season, Daemon's listing off all like the dragons for his side, the other side, and then he lists off like 5 or 6 dragons that are basically unclaimed.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine that's one of the ones that Cole's riding.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep, I got a cool section on that too.
That's another thing that I feel like is there has to be some new characters, I'd imagine, that are going to come up and ride these dragons, or at least 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, so there's 6 dragons that are either wild or riderless, who have been ridden before but don't have a rider.
What is the so wild ones just haven't
never been tamed or ridden ever? Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 3 of each. So there's Sea Smoke, who was Laenor's dragon. There's Vermithor, who's that one that Daemon sang the lullaby to.
That was a cool.
Has like a million horns coming out of his like throat and neck and head and stuff. He's huge. Yeah,
he was big.
He might actually be. He's probably the 3rd biggest dragon.
Okay.
Vagar, and then Meleys. Yep.
Meleys.
Yep, and then this guy, Vermithor. There's also Silverwing, which was ridden by like Viserys' grandma, so it would be an older one, Queen Alysanne. And then the 3 wild dragons are Grey Ghost, Sheep Stealer, and Cannibal.
Cannibals.
Yeah, Cannibal is known to eat other dragons.
Yes.
Which is why it's called Cannibal.
Yes.
And a big part of this, or at least either going to be like a montage or maybe like a revisited thing throughout the season, is going to be what they call the dragon seeds. So there's going to be like kind of a call to arms or like a recruitment to get these people to have someone claim these dragons to become weapons in the war.
Yeah, that makes right.
And so there's all these people that claim to have Targaryen blood or this or that, and so they think they'll make these moves, and there's some successes and there's some failures. So they could just do some like pretty comical like montage of people getting their burnt to shit, or like, or it could just be like one every episode for every they could do a whole bunch of different stuff. But some are gonna be successful, some are not, and like you said, some of the new characters are gonna be the new dragon riders, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Cole has to have one of the ones there's 3 on Dragonstone, right?
Yeah, they're kind of spread out. Yeah, I think some of them are on Dragonstone, some of them are around Driftmark.
That has to be one of the ones he gets. I mean, it almost has to be.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, they have. We know Vermithor is at Dragonstone. That's the one that Daemon's saying too. Yep.
Like I said, that one's huge.
And then I think Sea Smoke, which was Laenor's old one, is floating around Driftmark, where the Valerians are.
I feel like it was pretty big too. We saw it when they were fighting in the
Yeah, I think it's the same age as Laenor. Yeah, when they were doing the Stepstone Wars.
Thank you. There it is.
So yeah, they're all, there's those 6. We also could see some dragon riders die, and they have a...
For sure.
So that brings up new dragons that could be claimed.
You know what's interesting, actually, is we go back to King Aegon. King, obviously, want to protect the king. He's got a dragon, though. Like, is the king gonna get out there on his dragon and participate in fucking warfare? Or is he gonna pull a Joffrey and be chilling fucking in the castle with his mom?
Right. There was one shot from the trailer of him in armor with a built-in crown in his armor when he's on his dragon.
In the trailer?
In the trailer, yeah. One of them. I think the newest one from like 4 weeks ago. But it's like a built-in crown in his helmet, which is kind of funky looking, but that's also what Aegon the Conqueror had, which is pretty cool.
Now that I just said that to you, actually, that just kind of sprung a theme. But there actually is a similarity there between Alicent and Aegon and Joffrey and Cersei. There is like a...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely a contemptuous relationship there.
Cunts.
Yeah.
Trying to teach him how to lead. Actually, there's a... I don't know how I didn't see that until just now, but there's definitely something there right there.
Yeah, it's definitely another same spoke on the wheel coming around again, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Dragon Seeds thing is going to be a pretty cool
How
little side
many
story.
dragons do you think we're actually going to see on camera? You got to imagine.
So there's going to be a lot.
As many as the books.
I had a list of some new ones we could see. Got Helena's dragon, Dreamfire.
Imagine Helena on a dragon in Battlefield, dude. Like, she's just flying there, just like...
Ooh, a bug. Yeah.
Hey, fucking, I just got done watching Rings of Power again. Do you guys remember fucking the scene where Galadriel's riding her horse on the beach for the first time?
Yeah.
Dude, she's riding on the beach. It's just like a montage for 30 seconds, and she's got the biggest shit-eating grin on her face. Because someone's like, oh, it's like a half a day's ride. And she goes, did you say a ride?
Yeah.
And then it's a montage of her on the beach, and she's just like...
In a, toilet paper commercial.
That's what I imagine Helena, just riding around a dragon.
Yeah.
Refuses to say Dracarys. She's just like, this is great.
Yeah.
I love flying.
Yeah, like antidepressant commercial. Zoloft.
I can't imagine her being in fucking battle at all. I can't see it.
Right. Maybe make her more of a diplomat envoy or something. But you also get Aegon on Sunfire, which Sunfire is referred to as the most beautiful dragon that's ever existed.
Okay.
It's also metallic-y like Cyrax is and stuff.
Nice. Okay. And that's King Aegon's?
Aegon has it, yep. Bela, who's one of the...
Daemon's 2 daughters?
Yep. Has
Only
a
one
Moon
of them
Dancer.
has a dragon.
Yep.
Moon Dancer.
Moon Dancer. And there's a shot in the trailer of her on Moon Dancer chasing Kristen Cole into the woods. Cole's riding his horse as fast as he can to get to the tree line so they don't get torched.
Okay. I know what 2 parts you're talking. I didn't think of them as one, but I gotcha.
Yep. And then Daeron, the younger son or younger brother of Aegon and Aemond, has Tessarion. There's also
A lot of ons.
young Joffrey, right? The youngest of Laenor and Rhaenyra's kids, or Strong. He has a dragon, Tyraxes.
Quite literally forgot that kid actually was a thing.
Yeah,
You got
he's also
Jason
young.
Luke,
Yeah.
and you got the 2 babies with Daemon. I completely forgot about that third kid.
So he'll be 10 or 12 or something by this point, right? Because they were at that middle age of actors when he was born.
Right.
Yeah. And
There was
then
a flash forward. She had 3 strong kids.
Yeah.
And that's how the episode opened, was with her giving birth.
yeah. And then the last one that we heard about but didn't really see was Jace's dragon, Vermax.
That's a good name.
Yeah. So those are some of the new ones we'll see. If that exist, I'm assuming we'll see most of those.
Wait, Vermac? That's Jace's?
Arax was the one that died with Luke.
Okay.
Yeah, Arax and Vermax. I know. I only know because I just prepped for this.
Do
but
something different.
they're tough. Between all the Targaryens.
Barry.
Yeah,
George.
Yeah. Or Daemon and Rhaenyra are naming their first son Aegon also. Just another
It's
Aegon.
crazy,
Yeah.
man. It's like there's a book, the book of names that parents have that you talk about, and it's just literally 7 names in it.
Yeah.
It's just one, you have the cover, 1 page, and then you have the fucking bookend.
Yeah. Not so creative.
It's fucking crazy, man.
But that's how it is in real life too. French kings are Henry the 14th and shit.
That's actually true. Yeah. That's a good point. Isn't there 15 Prince Charles? And
Probably, yeah. It's just It's just kind of how it is.
Touché.
But it's harder when they're all made up names. It stands out a little more.
Yeah, no, it definitely, especially in this show. Like, I feel like
Or the same generation.
Game of Thrones, there's a lot of names, so you got to kind of get you. It's like, okay, we have the Lannisters, we have the Starks, but at least it's all different. Now it's just all the fucking. It's Aemons, like 5 of them. We got Aegons, and like 3 of them.
Right.
It's just chaos. It's all the same.
I'm with you.
Even like it's Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. It's like we're talking about like literally 2 letters. It's crazy.
Yep. And then her daughter, Rhaena. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like how many? What we say? How many dragons are you thinking? 20? Less? More?
I think probably 15-ish.
15?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we got like the big 4 or 5 of like the main players, and then there's all these like 6 or 7 second tier, and then there's the 6 wild ones. So there'll be a lot. I'm pumped for it.
They're gonna have to bust a nut budget-wise to do all of this.
Definitely.
I love to see it. Which, like, you hinted at the Duncan and Egg spin-off that we're doing. Supposedly the Jon Snow spin-off got greenlit.
Yeah.
And then George R.R. Martin tweeted, I think it was like a day or 2 days ago, about the 1,000 Ships girl there.
Oh, yeah,
from Dorne.
Yeah, Nymeria.
Nymeria. That's what Arya names her wolf after.
Yep.
That fucking story. And it's also how, I think it's the first episode of House of the Dragon. Rhaenyra and
she's reading the story about
that story. Yeah, that story of 1,000 ships.
Yeah.
So I think that's another one that's in the works too. So fucking, they're going all in. It looks like on Westeros.
I love it.
Sign me the fuck up.
I love it.
Give me all of it. I mean, a Jon Snow show, I'll watch, but gross.
They'll make it good.
Gross.
Yeah, I mean, there won't be any more others, right? It'll just be
him in the north, like he's just gardening for like a whole season.
Yeah.
He's just raising sheep with Tormund. Tormund's there for. It's basically a sitcom north of the wall.
It's like
you got me at sitcom. Huh?
Hey, Tormund and a sitcom. Now we're really cooking.
It's like the Red Dead Redemption 2 epilogue. You just go farm and do chores on the.
Tell me there's not some similarities between Kramer and Tormund.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? There's some connections there you can tie.
Oh yeah, the eyes wide open smile with the crazy hair. She likes me.
I would love to see more. I don't think we'll ever see Tormund again. I guess I could be wrong. I mean, I guess if there's a Jon Snow company, it could be, but
It's your best chance at it.
yeah.
You get to see him in the Scott's lawn commercials.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen those? Oh,
No.
He's
Pretends to be an Irish or Scottish guy.
Yeah, he's literally like the face
like
of
a
Scott's
Viking.
lawn care. You know? It's
Get the fuck out of here. Where have you been seeing those commercials in the NBA playoffs?
Yeah, they definitely had him on during the NBA
Definitely
finals.
golf,
But yeah,
too.
everything. Yeah, I've seen those commercials probably 100 times at this point.
Yeah.
How the fuck have I not seen them?
He has like a hardcore Scottish accent, like a greenskeeper.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I don't think he's Scottish. I think he's like Viking, like Norwegian or something. But
Oh, like a
I don't know.
Swedish, a Switzerland,
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Yeah.
I got you.
like Baltic, Scandinavian.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. Yeah, he's a ginger.
Yeah.
Crazy world. we live in.
Yeah.
But let's see. Do we have anything else from like the trailers specifically?
Just a couple quickies.
Yeah, go ahead.
One cool thing is in that shot on the wall with Stark, he has ice across his back, the huge long sword.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, I did notice
Yep,
that. I
that's
didn't
pretty cool.
think of it, but yep, the big that thing's fucking huge.
Yeah, it's a 6-foot sword or something. Yeah.
6 feet.
I don't remember exactly how big it is, but it's supposed to be humongous. Like not actually used in battle, just a ceremonial blade for decapitating and dealing justice.
Swing something like that in battle.
Yeah, you'd have to be Gregor or Cobain or something. Yeah.
That's like Soul Calibur shit right there.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Also, there's a shot of them finding 3 dragon's eggs in the trailer.
I did see that. They
And,
almost look like Daenerys's.
Yeah. So in the book, there is a storyline about the 3 eggs, and they have a little role, like a small side story. But those 3 eggs looked exactly like Dany's eggs. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to link that back in somehow.
That would make sense, because remember, like in Game of Thrones, they say, like, when she gets those dragon eggs, they say, like, they've been solidified.
Yeah, they thought they're petrified.
Petrified.
Yeah.
For, like, I think they say, like, hundreds or even thousands.
Yeah,
of
who knows
years.
how long they're...
That would make sense.
Yeah, if they haven't hatched by now, they never will, kind of thing. But I think that would be a really cool insertion. So
That's the kind of shit
Yeah.
that, like, works. Like, small, little, intricate details. Like, we saw the cat's paw dagger a bunch. Like, it was used to almost kill Bran. Arya carried it forever. We didn't know, though, if you put it to the flame, it literally, like, reads the fucking story of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
That's cool. The dragon table, not the dragon table, but the Westeros
painted table.
table. We just talked about it. Like, you saw it in the show a bunch. We didn't know that it could fucking be lit up and fucking look way cooler than it rightfully is. This could be another example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love it if that was the thing. Some people were hating on it a little bit just because they want it, everything that's in the books to play out the way it is in the books, but I think that'll be a great use of it, and it's a small side story anyway.
Right. There is so much room for good little minor changes that like still fit the criteria. Like I already talked about Last of Us a bunch. Like Last of Us stuck to the source material 1,000%, and then they just added that little wrinkle where like if you step on basically like a vine, it's like a hive mind. So like if you step here and you step on it, like they'll fucking know all the way over there. That was like a cool little intricate small detail that they added in that was nice. Kind of like the same thing for the most part with House of the Dragon aside from that rainy scene.
Yeah, I agree. I liked every little tweak they did. It does suck to miss out on some of the story you wish to see, but they need to make it entertaining to watch, not to read. So it's a different media.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's the main stuff. I just want to bring up one more time. I'm really curious if the Starks know something about the prophecy. I think that'd be really cool too.
That makes me instantaneously curious.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
So it's kind of the only thing we have left. It was kind of like maybe expectations or predictions or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I already mentioned a lot of them. Like I want dragons. You mentioned them. Dragons, fights, sex. That's basically what Game of Thrones is. Like, we want all of that stuff.
Incest.
I think they've hinted that it's going to be like 3 or 4 seasons, so that's interesting. Like, are we going to get Aemon versus Daemon in this season, or is that going to be something that they really, really build up to for, like, say, season 3 or even season 4?
Mm-hmm.
That's stuff that you probably have a little bit more insight than we do. But
yeah, but again, I don't know when they're gonna place stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't know about 4 seasons. I knew that.
I think that's like that was like the plan. I think that was another tweet from George R. R. Martin. Was like basically, this story is best formatted for 4 seasons.
Awesome.
So
cool. I did listen to a couple interviews of the showrunner guy, Ryan Condal.
Yep.
And he did confirm that they're already working on the 3rd one.
Okay.
So that's
good.
That's at least that. But I'm hoping 4. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
He also had a couple of cool little things. He mentioned, they asked him like what his favorite set was for the season and like what he's most excited about.
Yeah.
And he said that Harrenhal is going to be like one of the main places for the season.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to meet Alice Rivers, who I mentioned earlier, who's like the Melisandre type character.
Well, okay.
She's prophetic and she might be 100 years old. And
Rivers is a more popular name, I feel like, back then.
That's the bastard name for the Reach or whatever.
The Reach.
Yeah. So yeah, but she's the bastard daughter of Lionel Strong.
Oh.
Who was
or no?
His dad.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so
fucking Clubfoot.
Yeah. So Clubfoot's stepsister.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. We'll see what happens to him too.
That's actually a character that we haven't mentioned this whole show that I guess, actually interested to see more of.
Yep.
That guy stinks. He's gross, but.
Yeah, he'll be on the small council. He's
that makes sense,
the Master Whispers.
Okay, taking Varys's. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Perfect.
Yep. The showrunner also said they asked him why they are doing 8 episodes instead of 10, and he very subtly said that he really wished they were doing 10, and that they made him do 8 instead. So he wished they did 10.
That's a fucking red flag of the highest fucking order.
Yeah, a slight mini excuse.
The showrunner says I wanted to do 2 more episodes, and HBO says nah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem to me.
I mean, it was the strikes and stuff. That was.
Yeah, we also just watched Game of Thrones end because of premature, quick, rushed endings.
That's true. No, you're right.
So let's not quickly rush through things because of whatever purpose.
Right.
Budgets or writers being incapable of writing fucking stories themselves.
Right. But I'm hoping maybe he took that and then just decided to tell less of the story up until the end of the season instead of smushing stuff together or something. I don't know.
That would make sense. Well, that could definitely be true. I got you.
One other thing they asked him about magic in the world, and he said that dreams and magic are going to play a slightly bigger role in season 2.
That makes
and
sense.
that said, quote, "There's magic in this world, and we've tried to employ it in a sensible way." So they're gonna do some small stuff. One other thing from the trailer, there's a shot of Daemon walking into the throne room, and it's completely empty during the day.
Yeah,
And so that's almost definitely a dream sequence, right? There's no way that it's daylight and the throne room's empty for Daemon.
That's true.
So that's almost definitely a dream sequence.
That's almost like the Daenerys scene.
Yeah,
what is it? The houses
with the snow / ash falling on the throne room. Yeah. Yep. So I think that's a dream sequence, and he mentioned dreams were going to be bigger. So between that, Daemon's dreams, and this lady Alice Rivers, and then Helena, and then obviously Viserys had his dreams. So there's going to be some more of that too.
Okay.
And then he also mentioned how, which you touched on earlier, how the dragons all have different personalities and relationships with their riders.
Yes.
And they kind of have a mind of their own, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out with. With all these brand new riders, with young dragons, brand new riders with old dragons, versus Rhaenyra and Daemon and these people who have had their they had it in their cradle.
Lives.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be cool to see what the certain dragons act like to be a little different from each other.
Yeah.
And what role they play.
I'm definitely interested about a lot of that. I also want to see if the dragons almost like people, do they is there a head dragon and the other dragons follow that dragon, shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like if they respect each other, if they have their own
alliances
and stuff. Maybe
Aegon's the big bad guy that fucking Aemon rides. Say this King Aegon's dragon is gonna be even though I'm king, are we following that big ass motherfucker? You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit like that intrigues me.
Right.
Mention King Aegon. I'd say the other character that interests me the most would be Jace. I'm very interested to see what Jace is gonna do now that his brother's been killed. He's really the older sibling now.
Yeah.
He's, I'd imagine, going to be a huge part of the count, her war council and shit like that.
Yeah, he's the only functionally old enough to help child that they have. Yeah.
Yeah, and even at the end of the first season when he was growing up, you could there's definitely some balls there. You can sense he's not no walkover. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure. He seems like he's trying to do the right things, trying to learn Valerian and
that's right.
Do all the right stuff. Yeah.
What about you? Any thing beside what you said? Any specific things you want to see?
Not really.
No? So we mentioned Aemon versus Aemon, but like I said, that might be backburned. I don't know.
I'm just here for the ride, baby.
Yeah. I want to see some death.
Yeah. I do.
Betrayal. You're going to get some betrayal for sure. And, just trying to one-up each other. They're going to keep backstabbing and escalating everything back and forth. It's going to be great.
And the craziest thing is that we basically know at the end of this, everybody dead.
I know.
Everybody gonna die. All these characters that we like and are attached to, basically they all gonna die.
Yeah, I don't actually know for sure if every dragon dies during this, but just about at least.
Pretty much, yeah. Because the dragons are gone from the world by thrones.
Yeah.
The Targaryen name has lasted down to one person in the show, 2 people in the books.
Yeah, I want to say. Do you kind of remember?
Gone.
Do you kind of remember from the books? I feel like there was very small, deformed dragons, that Robert could remember. Robert Baratheon could remember. It was 40 years ago. They had these runtish, shitty dragons that couldn't quite grow or live.
Dragons.
So
so small.
So they kept hatching and stuff.
Dogs.
But, yeah.
I didn't know if that was during Robert's reign or not. I thought that was.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was some of those characters that had seen them like that or what it was, but
I don't know.
But yeah, it's definitely gonna take a big chunk out of the dragon population and the Targaryen population.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna end the dragon line. I feel and almost kill the line. I mean, it is gonna.
That's how it's looked at. That's how it's looked back on. Yeah.
Valerians are straight up gone. They're not in. They're not in Thrones at all.
Right.
I think there's another one somewhere, or maybe not. I don't know. But do we have anything else? Anything else specific that you wanna touch?
I'm good. I'm just pumped for Sunday night, baby.
Sunday, it's coming quick. Only a few days away.
Sunday. That's one thing. I feel like they're starting this season earlier in the summer than they usually do. No.
I mean, the last season was August for House of the Dragon, but Game of Thrones did a couple of they were sporadic. It was always during the summer. It was I think the last season was actually a little bit earlier. I feel like the last season was April. I want to say for some reason. But a lot of the other ones were like June, July, or August. They were summer blockbusters, which that's primetime HBO. Sunday nights, HBO, summertime. That's where it thrives.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, coming this Sunday. Very, very excited. Like I said at the top, we're going to be doing weekly episodes. We're going to be breaking down each one. So probably going to be doing, hopefully, all of those on Wednesdays. So be tuning in for those Wednesday nights or Thursday if you're, interested in talking a little bit more extra House of the Dragon or Thrones or whatever after the episode. But I to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Thanks for having us, brother.
No. Thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for doing the show. As always, appreciate it. It's good to talk to you guys. It's been a minute. And I'm sure we're going to be talking to you guys more soon. Especially, like, we get the Bear, like I said, Cobra Kai. We have a lot of things coming up. This summer's going to be packed with a lot of shows. So, thank you to you guys for coming in. Talk to you again soon. Thank you to Kirk Minahan.
Thank you, Kirk.
Network. Yep. Thank you, Kirk, as always, for putting the show up on the network. We appreciate it very much. And just enjoy Sunday. Welcome back to Westeros. It's going to be a great time. I'm excited. And we'll talk to you guys next week with our first episode. Happy watching.